I'm Mona Kosar-Abdi. Thank you for joining us. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is speaking now after new video was released of the attack on her husband at their San Francisco home. Take a listen.
The 911 call. I have not heard the confession. I have not seen the break-in, and I have absolutely no intention of seeing the deadly assault on my husband's life. I won't be making any more statements about this case as it proceeds, except to, again, thank people and inform them of Paul's progress. But that will be the end of what I'll say about the case. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, how is your husband doing?
It's coming on. Thank you.
A brief statement there from the former House Speaker, basically saying that she has no intention of seeing the video of the break-in and the assault on her husband, and that is the last that she will speak of it. For more, let's bring in Terry Austin, host and legal analyst at Law and Crime Network. Terry, she kept it short and sweet, but we can only imagine that she doesn't want to see the video because it is a very disturbing video to watch.
Yes, I saw the video, and it is very disturbing. The fact that the suspect, who has now been apprehended, is standing there holding Paul's arm and holding the hammer, and the police are there, they're watching, they're trying to figure out what is going on, and all of a sudden he ends up hitting Paul Pelosi, and it is very disturbing. I can understand completely why Nancy Pelosi would not want to see that. He's an older man, obviously. It could have killed him easily, and it's a very disturbing thing to watch when you know your loved one is being attacked like that and you can't do anything about it. So I'm glad the video is out. We can see what happened, and the fact that, you know, he has been charged now with multiple federal and state crimes, and the fact that we have this video should make any conviction a lot easier, but it's got to be hard to watch for her.
And David DePape has pled not guilty. There are several charges, Terry, that he is facing. Can you talk to us a little bit about what we can expect in this trial going forward?
Well, on the federal side, he has been charged with multiple, because she is an official and he is married to the official, that's why the federal charges have come in. But they charged him with, attempted kidnapping of a federal official, assault on an immediate family member, and those really could add up to multiple years. The federal charges actually carry a maximum of 30 years for the assault and 20 years for the attempted kidnapping. On the state side, he could be facing 13 years and 8 months or up to life for the charges that he has been really charged with. And it's a laundry list, Mona. I'm telling you, it's attempted murder, first-degree residential burglary, assault with a deadly weapon, and it goes on and on. And I think they're setting an example here, both on the federal side and the state side, that something like this is not going to be allowed. You cannot attack our representatives, judges, lawyers, people who are serving the public in this capacity, and their family members as well. So I think both on the federal and state side, they're going to try to set an example here and try him to the fullest extent of the law.
Some very serious charges, Terry. Thank you. And we're going to bring in ABC's Jay O'Brien, who is live now on Capitol Hill. He was standing right next to the former House Speaker as she made her statement. Jay, is there anything that she said before or after she made that statement that we should know about?
Well, the thing that stood out to us in that statement was her saying, firstly, that she has absolutely no intention, those were her exact words, of viewing that video that was released today. She has not listened to the 911 call, she says. She has not listened to the suspect's confession. And you could see, Mona, as she gave that statement, you're looking at a playback of it there, the tears that she had in her eyes when she was talking about the impact that this attack had on her husband and on his family. Now, the moment you're watching, or on her family, rather. The moment you're watching there is as she walked up, she saw another member of the Capitol Hill press corps who had brought his baby to work, and Speaker Pelosi was remarking on the baby. That is classic Nancy Pelosi, talking about the future, talking about children, the impact that government has on children and on the future of the country. When she was sworn in as Speaker, previously she brought all the children up to the Speaker's rostrum who were in the House gallery at one point. So that is something that Speaker Pelosi often focuses on. But then you saw her change gears and address this attack and address this stirring video that so many of us have seen now, that Speaker Pelosi says she has not seen. And it's always important to remember when we talk about Nancy Pelosi's reaction to this attack on her husband, that the suspect later told police, according to San Francisco police, that he was there for Nancy Pelosi. He was there, he said, to take her hostage because she was a high-profile Democrat, Mona.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I was going to add to that as well. Can you explain what happens right after the video where we freeze frame, because we can't show you, it's too graphic, once the suspect lunges at Paul Pelosi with the hammer? Can you talk a little bit about what ends up happening right after the part where we cut it off?
Yeah, so you're watching the video right now on your screen, and this is San Francisco police arriving at Nancy Pelosi's front door. Paul Pelosi had already called them on 911 from the bathroom. He and the suspect, David DePape, they're both holding onto the hammer there. Police tell David DePape, drop the hammer. He says nope. And then you see that freeze frame where David DePape appears to swing the hammer at Paul Pelosi. As you mentioned, that's where we stop it because it's graphic. But later on, what we don't show you is Paul Pelosi laying on the floor. Police administer first aid to him. In the process, they also arrest David DePape. It's graphic, it's stirring. Nancy Pelosi said yesterday before the video was released that it would be very hard for her to watch, and today saying she has absolutely no intention of watching this because it is so graphic and was an attack on her family.
And Terry, I want to go back to you really quickly because Jay did mention that police say the suspect mentioned that he was looking for Nancy Pelosi because of her position. Does that change anything when it comes to charging him and when it comes to the trial?
Well, absolutely. They could have charged him if he had apprehended Nancy Pelosi herself. The assault would have been on a federal official, and the penalty could be much higher. The fact that he had a family member that he assaulted, that too is taken very serious. So it did list a charge of attempted kidnapping of a federal official, and that is connected to Nancy Pelosi. So even though they don't have him on, assaulting a federal official, they do right now have charges against him in connection with the attempted kidnapping. She wasn't there, obviously, so he encountered Paul Pelosi and he assaulted Paul Pelosi, but they are covering their bases with the attempted kidnapping of the federal official.
All right, so much more to follow. Terry, Jay, both of you guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Mona.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.